G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Destro the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Titans Return, Full Tilt, and Necro. So, starting off, he may be missing some details because I don't have any stickers on him. Why don't I have any stickers on him? I put them away, can't remember where I put them all those years ago, and therefore he's missing some details. Now, his Generation Select version may have the missing details, but like I said, I don't know where my stickers are, and I haven't been able to find them for years. So yes, if there's anything missing of him that isn't on the newer version of the Generation Select Full Tilt, that's why. But in saying that, I'm actually kind of glad I never stickered him up because due to the heat and everything, my Generation Metroplex and my Titans Return Fortress Maximus do have the odd sticker that's kind of lifting up because of the heat. So I really should have been a lot more sparse with which stickers I put on. But it is what it is, and such is life. Anyway, so let's get into Full Tilt. Now, he is a Titan Master because Titans Return, everybody was a Titan Master in Titans Return, pretty much. There's probably a handful that weren't, but I can't think of them right now. In saying that, the original G1 Full Tilt was not a Headmaster. And honestly, the transformation was quite limited. Did I have it? No. Do I want one? Yes. But this Full Tilt is absolutely amazing. Also, he is a different shade for the Generation Select. I think the Generation Select's a bit more pink. This is more purple, and there is a one, I think it was a part of the Legends Triptychon dinosaur thingamajiggy that was also another color. I will say one thing. I'm glad he's coming through purple on my camera and not blue, because me and Lilac do not agree with each other, especially when it comes to Skywarp and the such. So he does look pretty good. Articulation is not too bad. There is a couple of things missing. It could be due to transformation, but I'll get to that when I get to it. He does come, of course, with a gun, which we'll put you up to the side so I can focus. I really need to clean my table. Anyway, so here we have his little gun, and honestly, it looks like a little spaceship. So I actually quite dig that. There could be a cockpit, there's your wings. So yeah. All right, we'll put that up to the side. All right, so let's get down to articulation first. Head can do a full 360. Can look up a tiny bit, not really look down. Can sort of go side to side, not a ball joint. We'll get to that in a minute. We have shoulder rotation all the way. You have arms out to there, which sort of activates this, and also the ball joint in the shoulder, but the ball joint is not individualized, so it all sort of connects. You have mushroom peg bicep rotation. You have elbow bend that gets you that far. Something I forgot to mention, he is a little bit rickety. It's due to his backpack and this wrist. The friction's probably starting to run out, but it's just because of those pins. I probably could actually put a bit of nail polish in there somewhere, but I'm not too worried, honestly. No wrist rotation, try that again. No waist rotation, no ab crunch. Legs go up that far. Legs go back that far. You have upper thigh rotation. Elbow bend that gets you that far. No ankle tilt, no toe, no heel. This is what I was talking about, something missing. You have nothing in the foot. So he's sort of, I want to say he's slightly molded. Like such, but you're basically using the toe and the heel at varying angles and this sort of gap, which is what's allowing him to stand. So there is all that. Right, let's get down to transformation, but before we get to transformation completely, we have to decapitate him. If you pull this off and then we put that to the side, we can get down to Necro. So all we do, of course, is we fold his legs down, twist his head around, which I forgot to do. Some of them were just easier to plug in if you had the head around certain ways, but it is what it is. And you can barely, I'm gonna put the light on. I don't know how much is going to help, but you can just make out his head face only because of the light. I don't really think they did much different when it came to Necro. I would assume that the Legends one had a bit more detail. All the Legends headmasters had a bit more detail. So there is that. But there is a lot of detail there, but you really, really, really have to look. Of course, we have the head on the back. So as for articulation, head can do it for 360. Arms can come up that far. They can go out that far before you start popping things. Can't go back. Legs come forward that far. Legs go back that far, so really nowhere. And of course, knees bend that way. And due to transformation, bend that way. So there we go. And we'll do a quick size comparison. I'll drop the camera a little bit. There, of course, is Necro with full tilt. So just probably half a Necro below his knees. So there we go. Put that back up again. All right, so now let's get back to full tilt and his transformation. So we're going to bring in his hands like so. We are going to, and I always forget this part, we're going to, do we want to rotate that out? I'm trying to think, do we? I don't think we do. So we're not going to rotate that out. What we're going to do is going to flip this up so these will sort of go into the grooves in the shoulders. Or it should. Where are you? Oh, hang on, it's not. God, I go real well. All right, so you don't tab that in. It just sort of double hinges down and sits. You have pegs on either side, and you have ports just on inside the shoulders. So that flips up and tabs in. Just get those wrists underneath, like so. Then what we're going to do is we are going to get to the legs. We're going to flip out. So we have the inside here, flip out. And we're going to flip this back so all this goes over the upper legs. And this, where is it? It sort of slides into that groove I was talking about, goes under here. So like that. And like that. Then we come under here. And we fold these in. You have a tab here that's going to go into these little holes. So one there, and we're almost done. You have these pieces, which will actually tab over his knees. So 1, 2, and there is full tilt in his vehicle mode. And of course, you can arm him up. You can take his gun. Oh, one thing of it, port there. And I'm pretty sure that is it. That's the only 5mm port. Once again, this was Titan's Return, not War for Cybertron. So this was before that. So you can arm him up, and he does roll absolutely brilliantly. And of course, you cannot have a headmaster without letting his head ride. So you can flip this up. You don't have to have that tabbed in, but it is helpful. And then, of course, we get all these lovely details inside. Once again, you really don't see it unless you look. So it is what it is. And then we have a sort of a little groove in there. I'll turn the light off. Lift up Necro's arms, of course. Bring his legs out. And he can just sort of slide into there. Give him a little press down and fold it. Fold. Oops. Mustn't have him tabbed in far enough. There we go. So now he can ride inside full tilt and absolutely go nuts. In saying that, I don't think we actually saw full tilt in use. We didn't see it in G1, maybe the Japanese, but definitely not the American stuff. So it does roll real well. Plus, plastic wheels, obviously. All right, so let's get down to size comparison. Here he is with Windblade. I really have to find a better way to do this, but anyway. So there he is with Windblade, which is obviously a little bit longer than he is. So there we go. Right, let's get into alt mode, and then we can do our final size comparisons. So of course, like I said, you can take the gun off and then you can just use a bit of gravity or get your finger in there. I do find it just easier to have the gun on top. You get your finger in there, pull out Necro, fold that back down again. We'll start with the legs. So we untab our knees again. I'm never 100% sure what tabs in. I think it's this tabs into this little groove here. So flip those down. I do like how the knees work. I really actually do. I reckon it's pretty cool. All right, so fold these out. Bring our knees down. Or lower legs, I should say. Like so. Come back here. Close these to fill in the gaps. And if it hasn't already, just bring that down. It will not tab in. It just sits there. Next, we're going to bring our arms out. And it'll untab from everything, of course. Come back here, and that can just come down. Use that double joint, and it's just going to slide down a little bit. You could probably also put the gun there in alt mode. Possibly, maybe, sort of. And we can bring out his hands. Like I said, they're firm to move. It's just once they're locked in place, they don't want to sort of sit still too much. So there is Full Tilt back in his robot mode. But of course, going to need his head. So we'll drop those arms again. Fold him over. And a method I use sometimes, I know it's usually the shape of here. So I go by, that's where the front of the head's going to sit. That's where the back of the head's going to have to sit. And I think I do it with Windblade as well, but basically plug that in and rotate. Because honestly, I don't like the feel of it by trying to push it the other way around. You could, of course, just pre-turn around Necro's head, but I don't. So take that for what you will. And of course, then you can just arm him back up again. And like I said, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what that is. Maybe I got a bug. Hang on. Yep, just a dead bug. The only downside to having a tiled floor and having some figures standing on the ground, especially Full Tilts, his feet don't actually sit on the ground, you can get bugs. I actually had to kill a whitetail that had decided to use Omega Supreme's thigh gap as its nesting spot. So that was fun a while ago. All right, so let's get down to final size comparisons. Here he is with 4 War for Cybertron, Siege, Brunt. So of course, if you're going to have a Triptychon, you need to have a Brunt. So if you can't get a Brunt, I'm sad for you. So there's that. And of course, here he is. I really should grab the other one, but he's half buried behind other figures. Here he is with MP36. And back a bit. And you bring it up a bit. There we go. And you know what I didn't do? Give me 1 second. Here is Necro with Fans Toys. If I can understand it. Here he is with Fans Toys Grax. I'm not 100% sure what the Fans Toys name for Skull Cruncher's Headmaster was, but I knew I forgot to do some size comparison. Now, I was going to do another size comparison, but I can't remember with who. So, anywho, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. And apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.